All right, guys, we have more new drama regarding the Daily Wire, and it involves an old beef that happened literally a year ago. It involves the Daily Wire and Candace Owens. Stems from this phrase that many Christians use where they say Christ is king. I didn't realize this saying that was anti Semitic until now. Apparently, proclaiming that Christ is king is anti Semitic. Let's just go ahead and read some of this. We got this tweet here from Andrew. I don't know how you say his name. Clavin, probably Clavin. He says the problem with arguing with anti-Semites is that they are genuinely as stupid as bricks. They say Christ is king and America first. Then they make excuses for Iran's government of radical Islamists dedicated to U.S. destruction. They think Gentiles have tormented and persecuted Jews in one nation after another. So there must be something wrong with Jews. Really, Sherlock? They're not even smart enough to be feckless clowns. Jews are less than 3% of our population and have made amazing contributions in science, industry, finance, entertainment. And that's not even mentioning the bagels. And while Jews have their evildoers just like everyone else, the anti-Semitic conspiracy theories about Nagasaki and Bolsheviks and Leo Frank are truly the work of semi-literate morons. I know they like to flood social media with ugly garbage. It's all they've got, but paying attention to them lowers your IQ more than fluoride and doesn't even help your teeth. Best to leave them to play with themselves. So Candace Owens responded to that. She said, as always, very interesting sentiments coming from the Daily Wire. Thank you for sharing with us all. Hope you're well. And then after that, you just saw a full-on attack by the Daily Wire that was pretty much launched against Candace Owens. So after that, Jordan Peterson chimed in. Obviously, Jordan Peterson is with the Daily Wire as well. This is what Dr. Jordan Peterson had to say. He said, Candace Owens, a true pharisaical pretender, she vociferously proclaims her devotion to Christ for no other reason than to elevate her perceived status. Her outrage is designed not to shout the truth from the rooftops, build bridges, or make peace, but to subvert Christianity itself with its new force to her own purposes. She is literally using God's name in vain. There are few more unforgivable sins. Very interesting. And then he goes on this whole little rant. He basically makes like an entire thread and blah, blah, blah. And then Candace Owens commented and said, judging by the comments, this tweet appears to be backfiring. In your highly sought after psychological assessment, why do you suppose that is, Doc? And then you have a comment under here. You're an intelligent man, Dr. Peterson, and I have much respect for you. But this attack is beneath you. Who are you to judge her intentions? Do you have unique insight into her thoughts? The comments kind of tell you how people feel. This person says, pretender, aren't you the one writing about Christ all the time without actually confessing him as Savior? You may not agree with her politics, but she's actually advocating for peace according to her Catholic faith. You calling her a pretender is not very Christ-like. And then you have many other people making comments. And yeah, they are not happy about that. This is what Candace Owens also said. She said, LOL, and this just dropped. This isn't coordinated at all, guys. Once again, attacking me, Ian Carroll, and Tucker Carlson complaining about our high viewership. Why does this feel like a dying animal backed into a corner, desperate to reassert its dominance? And then basically she's referring to this article in the Daily Beast that says, why MAGA must expel the podcast Pied Pipers of anti-Semitism. And then they've got Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, and Andrew Tate. I'm assuming the Ian Carroll guy is probably mentioned somewhere in the article. Andrew Tate comments at the bottom right there. And yeah, the Daily Wire, always in some controversy. Let's keep going. Candace Owens quote tweeted what Andrew had to say. Thank you for re-upping this most crucial conversation about Christ as King. Almost exactly a year later, and once again during the season of Lent. After a year of thoughtfulness, I want you to know that I will never stop declaring it. For those who don't know, the reason why she's saying almost exactly a year is because this was a major news story a year ago when Candace Owens basically first got fired from the Daily Wire, let go, whatever you want to call it. Patrick Bet-David actually had a pretty good video on it. Again, this was 11 months ago. It was this whole thing about basically Candace Owens said the Christ the King thing, which many Christians say. I don't really understand what the issue is with that. I feel like that whole thing is just dumb. Saying that you're anti-Semitic because you say Christ is King is the craziest thing I've ever heard. And to be honest with you, just giving my honest personal opinion here, I really think this stuff has gone too far. It's gotten to the point where basically anything you do that they don't agree with is considered anti-Semitic. And I don't think that's right. I don't think every single thing is anti-Semitic. I don't think saying Christ is King is anti-Semitic if that's what you believe and that's your faith. I don't think that's anti-Semitic at all. I think that's stupid, but I can make a whole video on that itself. Not going to do that. We don't really talk religion on here anyway. We really just cover like drama and stuff. But yeah, that was a thing that happened. Jeremy Bourne, the CEO, released an entire like hit piece on Candace Owens. Like he did like a whole thread, tweets, whatever, where he was basically going after Candace Owens and saying, she's anti-Semitic. And this was literally like days after he fired her. So obviously he had been holding that in for a while. Let me play for you guys a little bit of what Candace Owens actually had to say, because she actually went live and she addressed the entire thing. So let me just go ahead and just play for you guys what she had to say. Here we go.
Try to make it sound as though saying the phrase Christ is King is derogatory in a circumstance if you utter it at a Jew, and yet that circumstance had not happened. And I take questions and people that attack my faith or attack the reason that I have said something very seriously. I take it very seriously. And in the context that I had used the phrase Christ is King was perfectly acceptable. The prior November, I tweeted it because the media was trying to get me to engage in an attack against my colleague, and I decided to abstain. And I said, "Blessed are the peacemakers." And I thought that I was choosing peace in that moment. And indeed, that certainly backfired. Anyways, why are we speaking about this today? Well, like I said, many of you have noticed that there has just sort of been these increasing, if you want to call it commentary that is coming from Daily Wire management, Daily Wire commentators regarding things that I've said, positions that I have, or just appearances that I am making. And, I would like to really leave the Daily Wire in the rearview mirror, which is why when I covered these statements last week, when I went on Theo Von's podcast and Ian Carroll went on Joe Rogan's podcast on the same day, and some people, I would say a small minority, were apoplectic, even though I thought that the conversation was really funny. And I think also illuminating for a lot of people who are getting to see me as opposed to having me being caricatured by the media, just being able to see what I believe in, like what I believe in as a Christian. Obviously, that is where I stand, why I am against what Bibi Netanyahu is doing. And that's just not something that is going to change because people are.
I'm so glad she said that, because they try to label you anti-Semitic if you say that you're against some of the things that Bibi Netanyahu is doing over in Israel. And I'm actually in the same boat. I am not a fan of Benjamin Netanyahu at all. I think he's done a lot of evil things. And if telling the truth makes you anti-Semitic, then this is a crazy world we live in. Just because you criticize a leader of Israel or you criticize certain things that the Israelis do or the Jews do or whatever, I don't think that makes you anti-Semitic, just to give my honest opinion. But anyway, just wanted to cover that drama real quick. This literally is something that happened a year ago. It's happening again. The Daily Wire won't leave her alone, I guess. They continue to go after her for whatever. And I think a little bit of it is jealousy. She gets way more views than Ben Shapiro. I made a video about that recently. She's way surpassed him. She pretty much gets more views than like everybody on the Daily Wire. And God, don't even get me started with the comment section. I get more views than the dang comment section. Like, good Lord. Anyway, yeah, that's today's video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.